What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Pastor Battle, and welcome to Battle TV. Back with another video. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are prayed up. Hope you guys are expecting God to do something great in your lives. If you're new, I encourage you guys to subscribe to my channel and turn on your post notifications so you'll be notified when I release a video. If you are a subscriber already, welcome back. I got some more to tell you. So, as you can see by the title of this video, I'm going to talk about my visitation from God. Hope you guys are patient with me because it's kind of going to be difficult for me to do this video in a short window. But nevertheless, my goal and my objective is to inspire, to bless, but also to reach people all over the world, especially with this video, in hopes to tell somebody that God is real. It's actually late where I am. I'm actually just getting out of prayer and felt led to do this video for you tonight. And hopefully it'll get done tonight and be posted in the morning for your viewing. This video again is about my visitation from God, and it stems all the way back to, believe it or not, to when I was in high school. In order for this video to make sense, or this story to make sense, I need to give you a little bit of backdrop in my life, about who I was, what I was doing, all of which I think are necessary and pertinent to making this video make sense. Growing up in Thompson, Georgia, of course you love sports. Football is very, very important here in our city. Where I'm from, the neighborhood that I grew up in, wasn't anything to do there. So when I say we, I'm talking about me and the kids in the neighborhood. We would play sports in the neighborhood. We would play baseball in the road, football in the roads, and even times we would sneak into somebody's backyard just to play football in the grass. But sports was our thing. You know what I'm saying? We would play catch. We would just do whatever we could, shoot basketball, whatever that was sports related. So you grew up being a huge sports fan. In my house growing up, you was a Georgia Bulldog fan. Still am today. Go Dogs. And I believe we're gonna win the national championship this year too. But anyway, you grew up being a sports fan. So I played football for 1 year, and it was in recreation. And my dad was like the assistant coach, and I had fun playing football. Couldn't play as I got older because I was born with a birth defect in my right foot. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with this thing called club feet. It's when your feet is growing in the wrong direction when you're born, and they have to re-break your foot, set it in its rightful place, and basically hope for the best. That was pretty much my predicament at birth, growing up with that, being born with that, and having to wear a cast basically as soon as I got into this world. And so as I got older, I would always have problems with it because whenever they reset the bone back of my foot, I guess they didn't do it correctly. So my foot rather is extremely flat. There's not an arch in it at all. So it's easy to have foot problems, which I did basically all my life. So playing football was out of the question. Not to mention, on top of that, I had asthma. But I love sports and I wanted to be around it. And so I did what I thought was the next big thing. That was to be a manager for the football team, or manager for the basketball team, or the manager for the baseball team. Whatever I could do to be close to sports, and so that's what I did, and I enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? Be there to be with the players and be around the sports you love, and you be around your friends and people you respect and you idolize and you look up to, and you hope for the best, and you do anything you can to help them. So that's basically what my life was growing up through school, whether middle school or high school. That's what I was. I was a manager for the football team. As sweet as that may sound, and as what may even sound like applaud worthy, I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you that it came with a lot of heartache. You're there to serve the people you love, the coaches, your friends, and you even pray for them, because I knew God at an early age. But the truth is, that was a very difficult time in my life, especially during my high school years, managing for the basketball team, football team, whatever. And you're there, you do work, you fix some drinks, you pick up equipment, you clean, you do all these things after school for free. And the benefit is, you get close to the game, you get close to your friends, and you get the game freeze. You get to travel with the team, you get to partake in their pregame meals and whatever benefits they have. They'll give you a shirt and hat every now and then. But they would also call you names. Water boy, Rick, you a slave. Fat boy, and these are just not players. It's coming from coaches and people who were associated with any program that I would work for. I would go home a lot of times depressed and discouraged and basically miserable, because the people that I love, the people that I worked for free, I realized that I was nothing more than just a slave or a worker. To be called out of your name by coaches and to be made fun of, humiliated, basically embarrassed just about every day. I guess that's to be expected if you're the manager for the football team, but that's my reality. That's what it was, and it was so detrimental to my psychology that I wanted to quit plenty of times. And it was even more so detrimental to my psychology that even when I went to college, in 2001, I went to college and I seen some high school friends or classmates at that college who played sports, and they asked me that I wanted to be a manager again for the college team, and I immediately said no. Didn't want to do it again. But my senior year, I believe it was, same type treatment, same type of disrespect, criticism, humiliation, the bullying. I go home every day discouraged, upset, depressed. I messed around one night, and I guess I prayed. I'm not even sure. But I had the most life-changing, life-altering encounter with God that changed my life. I'm not even a preacher at this particular point. I didn't start preaching until after I graduated high school. So this encounter is pre my call. So And I remember it just like it was yesterday. And what I thought was a dream until I realized as I got older, excuse me, that this wasn't a dream. This was literally an encounter with God. And this is what happened. Matter of fact, the place where he took me to reveal himself to me is the very practice field that I used to serve at. Here I am thinking I'm having a dream. And in this dream, which I later found out is literally an encounter with God, I am taken while I'm sleeping to the practice field. And I see myself doing what I always do. Making sure things are straight, making sure these players got water, making sure these players got football, these players got this. And I remember seeing myself on the practice field. And while I'm serving and doing what I'm supposed to do, I hear this commotion, this loud ruckus, this sound of voices. And I look up to the hill because where the practice field is down a hill. And you have to go down these steps to get to it. And I see a crowd of people running. And this is in my encounter. I see what looked like hundreds of people running. And this crowd, this loud commotion going on. And there was this crowd of people running down the steps. And I look off in the distance, you guys. And I see this huge man. I can't even put into words how huge. But so huge that he was on the ground, but his face reached the sky. And there was this crowd around him, and they were running down these steps. I remember seeing all the football players, and they were standing on the sideline, and they were in front of me. And I remember as the crowd got closer to me, the crowd opened up so automatically. It was like robotic. I can't even put into words how supernatural it was. The crowd opened up. I remember seeing these people come down the steps towards me, and I looked up and I saw a few familiar faces, but there's one face that I saw that I remember in this encounter where I met God. I looked and I saw Creflo Dollar, and I saw him, and he was with God. And for those of you who know me, you know I'm not really judgmental, but I can only go off what God shows me. And I know there are a lot of people who are not fans of Creflo and people who don't believe in Creflo. I don't know Creflo Dollar personally. He wouldn't even know me if I was standing next to him. And I can only go off what I've seen and what I've encountered. And what I've encountered and what I saw. When I saw God, I saw Creflo Dollar with him. So in my mind, there is nothing anyone can say about him to me. He is a man of God. I saw him with God, and they was running down the steps towards me, and I saw this huge man, and he had on a white robe with gold crosses on it, and he was walking through, and the crowd just opened up. He came right to me. I don't know how I knew, but I knew in the dream or in this encounter that this was God in front of me. And he hugged me. I remember thinking to myself while this encounter was going on, I was thinking, like, man, I feel so much love. I looked to the left and I saw everybody that's ever did me wrong or made fun of me or called me names. I saw every last player or coach, and they were clapping. It was like it was a celebration, like everybody was applauding me. And I was there hugging God, crying and weeping. To this day, I've always felt like I made a huge mistake, because I remember hugging God and He was holding me, and I seen people cheering and yelling and screaming. It was like God was celebrating me. I don't even know the words, but I remember laying my head on His chest. And I remember saying to myself, I'm going to look up and see His face. And I look up and to see His face, and I woke up. And I woke up from that encounter, and I began to weep. Just cry, because I knew that I had seen God. But more than that, I realized that He saw me. He visited me in my place of the most detrimental, violent persecution. It was almost as if He wanted to let me know that whatever I was going through, that He loved me. No matter what names they called me, He knew my name, and He knew where I was. He knew where to find me. He loves me. And there's so many people who don't think that God is real because of what they're going through, whose circumstances far exceed the pain of my little bit of persecution. And sometimes and somehow the persecution that a lot of people are experiencing has forced them to doubt God. But I'm a witness that He'll find you. At that moment when I was hugging God, I didn't care about what nobody said. It was in that moment to where I realized I was loved. His love made me forget about everything anybody has ever said to me. For that person who is in a predicament that where you are the nobody, the slave, the insignificant one, I'm a witness that God will reveal Himself to you in that place where you are the most hurt. And He'll make the folk that calls you nothing celebrate you. He's real. He's not just in your imagination. He's not just this character that we've created. He's real. And He wants to love you. He wants to heal you. He wants to visit you. I woke up the next day and I told my dad about what happened to me. That was back in high school. I'm much older now. But when I have those tough moments, when I have those difficult trials, I reflect back to that day in my life where I was visited by God. And I've learned that life is not void of persecution and opposition, but it is also not void of God being concerned about his children. My prayer today is for somebody who is watching this video and is catching hell right now. Remember that God can't put more on you than you can bear. And he can't put more on you than he can bear. He knows how much he can take, how much he can stand to see you go through. Once he can't take it, or see that you can't take it, he got to show up. Maybe unpopular to say, but I want to say to somebody, get ready to be visited by God. He'll wipe all your uncertainties away. It is not Buddha. It is not Muhammad. It is at the name of Jesus. And every knee is going to bow and every tongue is going to confess. Why do I act the way I act? Because I saw him. And he saw me. Grace and peace.